And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Conversations with Michael. Let's take a deep breath here as we allow everyone who are joining us here live, and we're talking and presenting this to a worldwide global audience here, as we always do each month, streaming live through YouTube and our own website. And of course, we're streaming through our own home studio here just outside Portland, Oregon, and you are welcome to watch each and every one of these episodes either live through our website or YouTube, or come visit the YouTube channel afterwards and you'll find a recorded version of this. Or you can go to our Sacred Space video library on our website, and monthly subscribers to that program have access to every single one of these episodes, including quite a few other tasty treats there. So let's take another deep breath. Each month we invite my beloved counterpart, my eternal self, Michael, to share his own unique perspective of all the changes that are occurring at this time on the planet. And of course, they are numerous, and Michael's here to help us to better understand the part that we play in this most potent of times. An incredible transformation occurring on the planet, unlike anything that's ever been seen anywhere before. So those of you that are new to the teachings of Michael, feel free to explore our website. We offer a variety of programs and services that are designed to help support any awakened human being, one who has now chosen to live their life consciously with the presence of their soul. And that's a really bold choice. Some would say not a very smart choice, because, well, you go through a lot to get to this place where you're really clear about what is yours and what is not. I made a type of gentleman's agreement with Michael when this whole thing started 25 years ago. He agreed through me to share anything, as long as I, Robert, was also willing to experience what he wanted to share firsthand. And of course, at the time, that sounded like a great deal. But as any of you know who have gone through the awakening process and are now experiencing the integration of your soul and your own human self, there's a lot there that everyone goes through. And it's not really for anyone but those who choose to become more of the master, what we call the curator of your own experience. It takes a lot of clarity, it takes a lot of courage to reclaim the degree of joy that is ours to live. So let's take another deep breath as we tune in here to this group that is watching us here live. And before I turn this right over here to Michael, let's touch on just a couple of upcoming events before I do switch over to him. And that begins here with, well, today being Conversations with Michael. And well, due to a couple of log jams with some of our other events, we wanted to announce that we won't be doing a show in December. Instead, we're going to do two this month. And you might ask why, and well, because we can. Our next show will be on Friday, November the 30th, instead of the first Friday of December. And of course, beginning in January of next year, you can count on the regular schedule returning as usual. And you can, as well as we mentioned, you can watch all the past episodes of Conversations with Michael on our YouTube channel or within our Sacred Space program. We'll keep today's live session posted on the Conversations with Michael page as well. And of course, we have, well, for those of you that are responding to the Masters Unplugged program invitation, we've noticed that quite a few are also watching this live stream. And we welcome you, and we welcome anyone who feel inspired, who are touched by what's being offered here. And so a few quick announcements for those of you who are participating in this program. Coming up in a few days, on Monday, November the 5th, will be the Master Circle, which is our monthly group session. This is a private gathering that begins at 11 o'clock in the morning and goes till 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's limited to 12 people. We don't record the sessions here to protect the privacy of each attendee. We've been playing with the group session format for a number of years because we've witnessed a lot of movement of energies in those who choose to participate in these sessions. We invite your soul to share its wisdom and the human self to share its own challenges with a group of fellow masters in support of each other. Anyone who has participated in any of our programs or services over the last 25 years or is now a member of the Masters Unplugged Facebook page is welcome to participate in this monthly program as a monthly subscriber. And a few days after the Master Circle, we have a live streaming session with Michael on Wednesday, November 7th. That happens every month on the Masters Unplugged Facebook page. And 2 weeks later, on the 21st, we also will be offering another group session that streams live on Facebook through Zoom. And of course, coming up here in December, we have, one of my favorite programs, the I-Spirit program. This is I-Spirit 2 coming up here on December the 7th. It's a 3-month course, which was designed to serve those who have allowed the presence of our soul to be a part of their day-to-day experience. So let's be very clear about that. This type of embodiment is extremely rare for any human being. And it's not a perfect relationship. And at times it can feel really awkward, but it does ignite a new sense of passion to begin to consciously live inside of our own creations. And we believe this experience begins to fulfill a deep, heartfelt desire to now reunite your human self with the presence of who you are, your own soul. So during this course, you'll be invited to free yourself from any limitation or distraction that would interfere with this most sacred experience. You'll be invited as a conscious creator to allow the energetic presence of your soul to now serve you. And once again, that's a very bold choice. And it's also your birthright to reclaim this freedom and to live your life now in joy. So sign up for this 3-month course. Ends for new participants on December the 6th. Class size is limited in relationship to new participants, but we find that over 50% of all of our attendees have participated already in the I-Spirit program. And there's no limit to the number of past attendees, and you're welcome to sign up anytime for that. So let's take another deep breath. As we come back here live, if you have, of course, any questions or comments about any of these upcoming live events, feel free to contact me anytime. Very good. And of course, this is the part of conversations with Michael that is my favorite part. I get to share with you the relationship that I have allowed, that I've developed here with my own non-physical counterpart, what Michael calls the eternal self. Each eternal self within all of creation has set free countless different facets or aspects of themselves. I happen to be just one of those. And because there is great joy in me in reclaiming this, I find a deep joy and a lot of passion to be able to share this with others in a way that perhaps it hasn't been shared in the past. And so as I do this and make this transition, Robert remains still here, my human self, my human personality, while at the same time, I allow Michael to blend his presence with me to demonstrate that this is very natural. It doesn't need to be some kind of new age woo-woo. It doesn't need to be something where you believe from your human perspective that you have to perfect your own humanity in order to deserve or feel worthy of such a relationship, such an experience. But indeed, there is nothing you must do, dear human. And of course, it is I, Michael, once again here, sharing my presence with all of you in this very unique way. There is nothing you must do in terms of changing who you are as a human being. You already deserve this. It's your birthright. You're already worthy of such a relationship, such a presence, such a blending, because it is you too. You too are spirit. And it becomes very personal when you begin to claim that who you are as spirit is quite magnificent. I don't use that term, magnificence, from a place of ego, pumping my chest, saying to all of life, look at me. I say magnificent because that is the natural state of spirit. It's quite different from how this presence of spirit has been presented to humanity. Let's take a breath there, dear ones. Because your life as an awakened human being is about to take another turn. And our role in this for each of you is to simply to act as a type of support as you continue to embody and deepen your connection with your own soul. As I work through Robert in this way, I often share with him that on my side I see with each of you and all of you, all of humanity, there is that non-physical counterpart that will not force itself into your body, into your life, because it has a state of consciousness that will not allow it to force itself upon anything. There must be an openness. There must be an allowance. And much of humanity gets stuck in believing that they must pray for this, or they must be given some special gift from God in order to have such a relationship here on earth. Many believe that you must leave this planet in order to have such a relationship with spirit. And so this is quite unusual and very unique, that we find such a brave and courageous group of human beings, souls, who are willing to do something very different, to offer something very different, an opportunity to allow the presence of home, the kingdom, the mother and father of creation, reunited, to come to you. Just because you can. There's nothing about our teaching that has anything to do with you needing to improve yourself. And if this was all about creating an improved version of you, then we could recommend that you simply Google self-improvement courses, self-help courses. There already exist on the planet thousands, if not millions, of people who offer an opportunity, a grand service, to be of service to helping you to become an improved version of what you didn't like about yourself yesterday. But that's not our teaching. That's already being filled by quite a few other people, other teachers. Our teaching has to do with self-mastery. Our teaching has to do with you reclaiming your freedom, not by doing anything different as a human. And that's the part where a lot of you get confused. And the part of you that gets confused is not your heart. It's your mind. The mind finds all of this very confusing because it's conditioned to improve itself. It's going to go to such extremes of looking at how many ways it can improve itself by creating an external version of itself. You call it AIs. This is not what we are presenting. What we are offering is something unique within the body that you are in right now. To have a tangible relationship with your own magnificent nature. Each of you have waited a very long time for this experience to actually become real, to simply exist inside of your own sovereign energy, your own sovereign creations. For most of you, your life feels like every week now, another layer of who you think you are starts to peel away like an onion. These layers continue to fall to the side, and what you begin to experience as the layers fall, as you allow them to peel away, they reveal your true identity, something that's always been inside of you, your own soul, your beautiful, magnificent soul. Let's take a breath there. Because some of you, as we are talking, and you get that we are talking to distract your mind, some of you get that right now is a really profound opportunity to let another layer fall to the wayside. Allow these layers that act as filters drop now. Oh, we know why you don't do it. All those layers you kept in place to protect you. To protect you from how you have experienced life here inside of this very dense reality and coexisting with the human family that has not waken up. It's not their time for most of them, but it is your time. And these layers have served to buffer you between you, who you know yourself to be, and the rest of humanity that's still playing that boring game called follow the leader. And if the leader isn't doing what you want them to do, if the leader at this time isn't fulfilling your personal agenda, then of course it's called blame the leader. You know, dear ones, your human story has done a really good job of of pretending not to be this magnificent being. But now so many of you, you're allowing yourself to be exposed. That tender heart, that delicate nature, that deep-seated passion, that fire that burns inside your solar plexus? We know that this can make your human self feel like you're losing everything that once felt safe, but you are not. This is but your mind and the emotions that serve your mind that have been in place to try to maintain a safe space inside of you. Because your relationship to what exists outside of you has not been very fulfilling. So be it. This whole peeling of the layers is a very natural part for any human being that wants to have a conscious relationship with their soul. It's a very natural part of reclaiming the freedom to be you, just you. You wouldn't think that was such a big deal, just being you. Oh, it has been, and for some of you it still is, if humanity, whether that be close family members, neighbors, friends, co-workers, or people you just bump into in your day-to-day reality, it's been quite a big deal for you to get them to give you permission just to be you. Being you, dear ones. We know this. One of your initial reactions to feeling safe to just be you also scares the crap out of the human self. It happened to Robert. It was safer for Robert to say that he was channeling for me. So be it. It's still a beautiful service. Channeling still plays a role for a lot of other human beings. But in a way, then, it's kind of a setup. Because in a way, you're still playing that game called Follow the Leader. And if you don't like the message, then you continue playing that game of blaming the leader. So many of you, and we have to admit, much to our surprise, you have reached, or you have allowed yourself to be in this fresh new moment. A moment that Robert decided to claim for himself. To just be comfortable being you. To allow who you already are to play with you, to witness what you're already doing in your mundane activities. And of course, the big one, to express what you're feeling. Whether that be nonverbal, that's a beautiful expression. So many of you that are artists find great joy in feeling that your expressions are evolving because you're also allowing the presence of your soul to co-create with you. But of course, the biggest hurdle is to give you, just you, permission to speak. You see this in some of your movies where some of the mm, some of the hierarchical relationships to a commander where others below that have to ask permission to speak. Captain, may I have permission to speak? And so we've been encouraging so many of you through our own teachings, through our own courses, for you to sit in the captain's chair and to give yourself permission to speak. A lot of you realize you simply can't move forward if you're still letting these unresolved emotional feelings from your past continue to choose for you. And that's why it's such a big hurdle to get in the captain's chair yourself, of your own vessel, this body, this mobile sanctuary, your new safe space. You couldn't move forward if you weren't conscious of how these unresolved feelings were choosing for you. To be able to let go of what no longer serves you, well, I have to bow before all of you, because I know that takes a lot of courage, more than you've ever allowed yourself to feel before. A tremendous amount of courage. It also requires that you end up making this whole living a soul-filled life the most important experience in your life. And that's a little awkward, because if it is, if that's going to be your choice, then you're also going to say no thank you to a lot of friends, a lot of family members, a lot of co-workers, a lot of people that you just bump into in the street who want you to be for them what now you can no longer be. They want you to play the role that you have been playing with them, in a lot of ways for them. And you've called that love. And we have called that extracting energies, dear ones. Feeding. It's not clean. And it doesn't allow you to really move forward, because then you're still allowing these deep-seated emotions to choose for you how you want to experience your life here in this grand and beautiful opportunity to finally set yourself free from feeling responsible for how others are feeling. It requires of you to allow mass consciousness to be just as it is, without interfering with what mass consciousness feels is the most important experience to have. Allowing them just to be as they are gives you the clarity, gives you the freedom to now truly serve this entire human family as we do, your non-physical counterparts, in a new way. Let's take a breath there, shall we? Your role now is not to help fix all the problems humanity faces. Your role is simply to shine a light on them. And as you, from your mind's perspective, ponder that for a while. From your mind's perspective, that looks like a very passive involvement. But the light that you have invoked, the light that you now carry inside of you, it doesn't offer Band-Aid solutions. The light that you carry, as each of you have experienced personally, and now shine in service to whatever problems the family of humanity has unconsciously created for themselves. The light that you carry goes to the core of the problem. And that is not always welcomed, as each of you, in your own unique experience, in your own unique relationship to this light, you've discovered for yourself. Not everyone is willing to take responsibility for how these deep-seated conditions that every human being has inherited are also controlling your choices. But you are. You are. And that's why we love you so. It takes a rare, unusual, and very unique human being to claim this light to also be them, to be of service to the light while allowing the light to serve you too. And for those of you who have already said yes, and that includes the vast majority of you that have been following our teachings now, you've discovered that your soul has a very potent magnetic presence. The energy now that you have said yes to, the relationship to the soul where you have said, yes, please forgive me for not allowing you to blend with me. Now you may come in. Now I do trust you. Now I see that you too are me. For many of you, you're beginning to notice how your own manifestation abilities have taken a quantum leap. And is this not incredible good news? In this new relationship, where you have grown or are growing comfortable with the very potent presence of this light, this can be the most incredible, most fulfilling experience as a human if you're also clear about who you are. So I'm just sitting here, tuning in here to your presence. Both your clarity, your lack of clarity. My light shines as an angelic being, as Mikael, as a service to the light that you are. And what each of you have discovered is this light is not offering band-aid solutions. It goes right to the core and begins to stir things up, and you begin to feel and experience these layers upon layers peeling off of your life, exposing you. The emotions that get triggered from your human self have a lot to do with not feeling safe, feeling vulnerable. And you would feel incredibly vulnerable and unsafe if you also were not allowing this light to be in your life. Not on a hit and miss basis, but to be in your life more consistently. If you're not really clear about who you are, and if you're not choosing to take responsibility for what's going on inside of you, then this very relationship with this light going to the core of who you are, it can actually be very uncomfortable. It can hurt. And if you're still allowing others to pull you into their relationships, pull you into their unconscious creations, pull you into trying to make you feel guilty for not playing the role that you used to play with them, this light will hurt. Because you're not just being you. You're trying to be something to make others be comfortable with you. So what your heart has yearned to experience for eons, dear ones, it's now in your life. And what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning now, as a creator of your own experience? Are you celebrating this? Is your day filled with you feeling a sense of celebration? Not because you've accomplished anything, but because you've allowed your human self to get comfortable being you. Are you comfortable, Robert, being you? Or did you just need a glass of water there? We like teasing with him. Take a breath here then. So many games that you've accommodated just so that humanity is willing to accommodate you. Isn't that interesting? It's debilitating, is it not? And so if you're asking your human self to be responsible for these new light-filled abilities while also feeling disconnected from the very presence of you, your soul, well, most likely, most of you have discovered when you did do that or are doing that, that you're not enjoying the outcome. In part, this is why we have asked Robert to create even more venues that act as a safe place for all of you to share and to support one another. Because we are now at this place where it's time to give your soul permission. And it needs, dear human, your permission to not only be here, but to also speak. And not to create another obstacle for the ones that you will be serving, the millions that will be awakening from the dream or the nightmare that you have already awakened from. You have a few years to play with this before you'll notice others are noticing you and wanting to know, how can you be so happy? How can you be in a place of joy when there's so much pain on this planet? You can share your magnificence in silence if you choose. And if that were our choice in relationship with all of you, we don't think we'd have too many listening, too many participating. So now is the time to give the soul a voice, to give it permission to speak, and to practice doing that with the support of your fellow masters. Everyone who signed up to be at the forefront of this dramatic change in consciousness are now feeling on a daily basis all these layers of conditioned behaviors peeling away as if dissolving. And some of you have tried to slow this natural process down by clinging to or holding on to what you thought was real. The emotions, and for some of you, the roles that you got addicted to playing. So going forward, what is the next stage? What is the next stage? If the responsibility of your human self now has been reduced to, 1, the care and maintenance of your body. Yes. Requires, well, a certain type of love and respect for this unique vehicle called the physical body, honoring its own intelligence, its own awareness. And for the most part, getting out of the way so that it can do what it already knows how to do. Maintain balance. There's a lot going on in this physical vessel. And if you would simply trust the body's own awareness and intelligence and let it do what your mind doesn't know how to do. Let it create the balance in service to what? This intelligence inside this physical vessel has one purpose. It's here to serve you. It's here to serve you. It can be of service to you in balance if you are here in the body with it. You, not just the conditioned human nature, not just your own personality, the human self, but you, that part of you that your heart already knows is real. Two, allowing yourself to feel really turned on by life, by also accepting who you are in this moment as being perfect. Perfect. And when you allow yourself to feel really turned on by life, even if you're not appreciating the circumstances you find yourself in right now, what does that do for you? That automatically elevates your own consciousness. That automatically elevates your own energy. How does that serve you in the human soul connection, relationship, experience? Well, then it makes it so much easier for your soul to blend with you. Your choice to feel really turned on by life just where you are right now and accepting who you are right now, not needing to create an improved version. That's actually giving your soul permission. Yes, we say to blend and merge with you, but what else is it doing? Are you not now giving your soul permission, your eternal self permission, to love you back? Are you ready for this, dear ones? Or must we continue distracting yourself with some of the games that you play? The choice is yours. For those of you who are at this front line of this dramatic shift in consciousness here on earth, beginning with you, this can unfold very gracefully. Or for your own entertainment, there can be a lot of kicking and screaming. The choice is always yours. It's not a pretty sight to watch your human self create more drama. And some of you have allowed your conditioned emotions to pull you into some very unfulfilling experiences, which in turn has also triggered that part of you that doesn't really want to be here. Let's feel that energy right now. Let's take a few deep breaths with that. That underlying fear that Earth is not a safe place. While you're breathing and feeling this energy, there's nothing we need to do with this. Just acknowledge that it's there. Now let's take another deep breath together. How do we resolve this underlying energy? Another layer that you can peel, allowing it to fall to the wayside. Take one more deep breath. And now allow this energy that is you, your soul, to be present and allow its light to share itself with this feeling of lack of trust, safety issues. Allow those energetic issues to feel that there's actually an unconditional support radiating from your soul. There's nothing your human needs to do. The energetic presence of your soul is here, dear ones, to serve you. Let the soul do all the hard work. You have two things to do. Take care of your body by allowing it to do what it already knows how to do. And feel really turned on by life, no matter where you find yourself in this moment. When you share the light of your soul with these stuck energies, it creates a new sense of trust. Because you're allowing all of these fear-based energies to be just as they are. You're just not getting involved. Involvement in your past was pushing back, doing battle, shutting down. So we ask you to remember that you have now at your disposal the light of creation at your fingertips, in motion. This is new for the human that's been disconnected from the soul for so long. It's not going to always feel like butterflies gently swirling around your body if you're not consciously allowing the energetic presence of your soul to deeply coexist with your human experience. You're no longer the reactor. You cannot be the one that feeds on energy by making others responsible for how you feel. It's time to really let that go. Most of you have gotten pretty good from the outside in of not getting engaged with that kind of energy exchange. And now from the inside out, well, let's just be honest. We've got a little more work to do, and that's okay. That's fine. This is unfolding faster than we could have ever imagined because you are allowing it. There's no hurry here. You're not going to miss the enlightenment road trip. As a creator, this is the time to just be very clear about the thoughts and emotions that are running through you all the time. And you choosing to observe or to get engaged. The choice is yours now as a creator. We warn you once again, you can't play with this light, with these reclaimed creative abilities, and still be processing all these unresolved emotions. It will hurt if you get stuck there. So even if it feels like you're just pretending, give that soul a voice right now. What does it want to say to you? Let it say what you've always wanted to hear from another human being outside of you. Let it speak to you right now. There's a lot of love being shared right now between you and who you think you are. Who you think you are has been speaking on your behalf most of your life, while also pretending to be you. As Robert and others have discovered, when you start speaking on behalf of your angelic counterpart, countless waves of energy begin to come into your life. And initially, that can feel very unsettling to your human self. But then you begin to realize that these energies, we aren't here to disrupt your life. Well, they kind of do, don't they? Yes, let's just own it. They kind of do. But truly, these energies that you're allowing in are here just to serve you. And for that to end up becoming fulfilling, it's time to live your life consciously. We began today's session by stating that the awakened human being has taken another turn. You're now willing to live with yourself. And from the human perspective, not just the parts you're proud of, but all that you also are. From your soul's perspective, allowing the energetic presence of your soul to serve you is just another way of saying you've given your soul permission to now love you back. In our response to that, no, it's not. It's about time. No, it's not when you're going to get your shit together. No, it's not what has been taking you so long. Our response is, wow. Wow. Followed by, thank you. Thank you. These are truly amazing times, dear ones. Unlike anything else going on in all of creation. And as always, our service to each and every one of you is to share our own love, our own light, in support of the new human. All of our blessings, dear ones.